Every game has its share of bugs. Some are bugs that are quirky and fun. Others are malicious. There are bugs that are not worth the developer's time to fix, and there are some that are game-breaking and require a fast response. Most bugs come with patches and updates, while some have been around forever. The worst of the worst are bugs that heavily interfere with the gameplay or that are exploitative. In the world of Evony the King's Return, we've experienced numerous bugs of all types in the past. Some bugs are fixed quickly. Can you guess which kind? You guessed it, bugs that disrupt the flow of money from your wallet to Evony's. A bug that makes players spend less might be resolved the very first day, or at the very least within a week. Bugs that affect the players but don't directly affect spending might not see changes for many months, even if it is super disruptive to gameplay. A glaring bug that is introduced with a patch has a high chance of being resolved fairly quickly, while bugs that have been around for quite a while do not. Here's an example. With the introduction of the new general list improvements, there was some oversight in how this would affect other aspects of the game. One commenter pointed out that the place most useful for picking out generals is when choosing generals to march. For example, I might want to join a rally with Baybars and have seconds to quickly select and send, but having to scroll through a long list of generals can be time consuming. There is a pretty serious bug that came with a new general list feature, but it's not that. This was more a poor decision in implementation of a new feature. The bug is that the new feature has broken the prison interface. If you capture a general in PvP, there are normally a few options on what you can do, such as release the general or execute. Releasing a general returns it to the other player and it can be used immediately. Executing a general returns the general, but the general will first need to be revived in the shrine to be used again. If neither option is selected, the general will eventually be released to the original player after many days. The new update has made it impossible for the captured general to be either released or executed. Therefore, as of right now, if one of your generals is captured in PvP, you will completely lose access to that general for a significant period of time. It doesn't matter if the other player would normally release them to you or not, you're out of luck. Now, will Evony be fast to respond to this bug? Maybe, maybe not. It is a bug that came with the new update and it affects everyone, so it should be looked at immediately. I would guess that it is currently being worked on. At the same time, it's not something that directly affects the monetization system or player purchases, so it wouldn't be a high priority in their eyes. I guess time will tell. Let's look at another bug in the game that has a massive effect on gameplay. The Barbarian Invasion event has had an issue that became known early this month. Before you ask, no, I am not going to share how it can be done. There is a way to teleport inside a barbarian castle, and this makes it so that your city cannot be targeted by other players. Since you can't be targeted, you are essentially immune to attacks and can freely attack other players without fear of being attacked by a larger player or of being rallied by the enemy. Now, I haven't seen this done myself, but the screenshots and videos that I have seen are pretty damning. You can clearly see marches going to and from invisible keeps inside the barbarian castle. It would also not be the first bug of this kind. It used to be possible to stack keeps on top of an invisible keep to become unattackable. This is a huge gameplay issue, and it has enormous consequences to events such as server versus server. If you're wondering why it hasn't been fixed, or why the Barbarian Invasion wasn't removed from the game until the issue is resolved, there is a pretty easy answer to that. The Barbarian event is a cash cow. To remove it from the game, even temporarily, would be a huge loss of revenue. It doesn't matter that players are affected by this issue, it doesn't matter that players purposefully exploit this bug and they are gaining an unfair advantage over other players, or even that players that become the victims of such a bug lose troops or resources in trying to fight a player that exploits it. It's so much easier to let those players send in tickets and then never respond to them or correct the issue. Here's another of the many bugs that currently exist in the game. When you rally a building in Battlefield, there's a 50-50 chance that only the rally leader's troops will actually be sent.
Okay, what's our time?
Is
55 seconds out.
Okay, don't speed it. I will be the only one to speed it. 1.
50, 49, 48, right there.
Yep, we'll let it go.
We
So
should
while
be
that's
prepared.
marching, you guys ready for a foot?
Be ready to speed if Lixel's the only one in the hospital.
Yep. You guys, actually, let's do a foot. You guys ready for a foot?
My foot is in the other rally.
Okay.
Same.
Okay, let's do a calf.
SWR just made a huge hit on somebody.
10, 9, 8, 7,
We need to find those
6,
guys.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I think you're alone.
Yeah, he was.
Get in there. Okay, come back. Did I get it? Yeah, come back.
Yeah, you
Everyone
got it.
back.
It was just you.
You did it by yourself.
This leaves the rally leader wide open to losing points and troops in a competition. That's a pretty big deal. Buildings are also a fairly important component of battlefields. You would think that this bug would be a priority. Battle of Chalons, the all-stars for alliances, and one of the ways that Evony represents the pinnacle of their gameplay to the world, is currently underway. Normally, any company would never allow such a big and important event to be held without absolute faith that everything will function as it should. In the event something goes wrong, tech teams would address the issue immediately, right? Not so here. This bug has been around for years. They have actually allowed something so crucial to the competitive nature of this game to go unresolved for that long, despite how it looks to players and spectators. Why? Same answer. It doesn't really affect the money flow. If it was a bug that prevented players from accessing the shop, I guarantee it would be all hands on deck to resolve the issue, but something that impacts gameplay can go unresolved for years without rectification. Will the bug for the prison be fixed anytime soon? Maybe, maybe not. I guess we'll find out. Thank you so much for watching this video and supporting the channel. If you liked what you saw, please consider hitting the like button and checking out other videos on the Miser's Guide to Evony. I'll see you in the next video.